Yep.
What's going on? What's going on?
Good folks.
Can you hear us now?
Good.
Let us know if you can hear us now. We back on it. Welcome back, Market Mondays. Playing with a home court advantage this time. Yeah, we hopefully y'all can hear us now. We about to get this going.
The young brother.
Shout out to everybody all over the world. Shout out to all the earners all over the world. Shout out to the UK. I know they had an earners meetup in the UK a few days ago. So shout out to Scarlett. Yeah. Shout out to everybody out there. We are definitely going to come to the UK very soon. Very soon. We have some big plans for the UK.
We ran into a good brother from the UK out in Tulsa.
What's up, bros?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Feeling?
Good brother Ian Dunlap has
Good. We good. Yeah. So sure. So let's get into it. But first, before we start, I wanted to just thank everybody that showed us a lot of love in Tulsa. We was out there. Shout out to Hill Harper, man.
Solid.
Absolutely.
Really great guy, exceptional guy. And shout out to everybody in Tulsa, in Black Wall Street. I don't even want to name anybody because I don't want to forget. But the hospitality, everybody was welcoming. And it was a lot of love. And it was a very eye-opening experience for me. I was able to bring my son. It was very educational, very heartbreaking, a lot of emotions. I would encourage everybody to take a trip to Black Wall Street if you haven't already. It's something that everybody, regardless of what race you are, but definitely if you are Black, African American, whatever you want to call it, you should know your history, just like every other group knows their history, just like Jewish people know about the Holocaust. You have to know your history to know where you're going. And it was an atrocity that was never made right and disrespected for over 100 years and still being disrespected to this day. A minor league baseball stadium was built in the area, highways and byways gentrified the area. So
a college.
Yeah, know the history, go there. And, we use it as motivation and inspiration because what they built 100 years ago was inspirational, to say the least. 7 millionaires. They had an airport, 3 planes, hospital, 2 schools.
16 churches.
I think it was 27 churches, actually. 27. But grocery stores, real business, real industrial business. And, that was something that was destroyed.
Yeah.
And there's still a sadness there. That's the area's part. Like you can still feel the heaviness there.
Yeah, especially from the people who grew up on that crime scene. I call it a crime scene because it is that. And one of the first things, like I said, Shotty had his son with him. I had my family with him. The first thing we did was explain it to them that night. I explained it to right after Market Mondays to understand where they were at. But then when we came back home, there was we had recorded the documentaries. I know Russell Westbrook had a documentary that aired, and I know LeBron's team, Spring Hill, had a documentary that aired. And then we watched the first 5 minutes of The Watchmen. If you've never Watchmen on HBO, if you've never seen the first 5 minutes, it is the start of the massacre in 1921. And so it gives a great depiction of it. And so my kids got to see it visually, what was transpiring from a place that they had just been standing like 24 hours before. So I encourage everybody to, again, educate your children, educate yourselves as well. Because I know a lot of people were like, we didn't even know this happened, especially the people who lived in Oklahoma. A lot of people were just like, we didn't even know this happened and we're from here. But I told everybody, look, if I don't want you to know your history, I'll never teach it to you. So it's up to us to educate ourselves. And then, you know how we do. After we learn something, we give it back to our communities. So we got to keep that memory alive. And there's 3 descendants that are still alive. So, we're gonna keep this thing going for them.
Yeah, thank you to everybody. And shout out to Hill Harper once again. I know we had some technical difficulties with the sound, but I was talking to him afterwards. So hopefully, I think we can bring him back with his whole team in a couple of weeks if that works out in a more controlled environment. And I think that'd be a great conversation actually once the platform actually is up and running for a couple of weeks. And he can actually give a report on what's going on and things of that nature. But once again, thank you to him because he's a class act. He invited us out there, took care of our stay, and was just very generous with his time. So
You're gracious, brother.
Shout out to him. Yeah. So let's get into this. Market Mondays. We got a lot to talk about today. But before we start, I'll give you the rundown. Big week for Earn Your Leisure.
Yeah.
We have tomorrow, we have the legend, the commissioner, Steve Stout.
Hey, you see what albums are up behind us, right?
Yeah.
You see what albums are up behind us, right?
If you don't know who Steve Stout is, do some research, man. He's one of the biggest moguls of all time when it comes to music. Responsible for some of the biggest advertising marketing campaigns in hip hop history, from the Reebok Allen Iverson situation to Jay-Z and 50 Cent Reebok's deal, to Nike and to Nas and Sprite.
I was like, don't miss that, please.
Yeah, McDonald's.
Yep.
With Pusha T and Justin Timberlake.
They took Pusha T's part out, but it's all G. That merger.
So yeah, I mean, Steve Stout, now he got United Masters. So Steve, I could go on and on. But
they just signed a deal with Apple.
Yeah, $50 million deal with Apple. Shout out to Steve Stout, man. Yeah, Steve Stout. So that's tomorrow at 8:00, live on YouTube and all podcast outlets. Check that out. And then we have a class on Wednesday, the most requested class that we've had for EYL University, which is app creation, how to create an app. So shout out to Tara Reed. She's going to be teaching the class for EYL University.
Oh, Tara going to be on?
Yeah.
You know she's amazing. Oh, yeah. Tara's amazing. Amazing. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be tuned in for that one. Tara's dope as hell. Please tune in.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, that's Wednesday at 8:00. So if you're interested, go to EYLUniversity.com, sign up, become an earner. And, I'm into
Saturday.
Saturday is
orientation.
Shout out to Janet.
Janet will be hosting orientation.
Superstar Janet.
A lot of people have just joined EYL University, and so orientation will walk you through the process of navigating your way through this online educational platform that we built. And there's no better person to show you around than Janet. I call her the Chancellor because she makes sure everything is smooth. Shout out to Janet because they're always good. I always pop in just to check what's going on, and I'm like, oh man, I feel like I'm spying, but she's doing such a great job. I don't even want to make her nervous. I don't even go anymore. Shout out to you, Janet.
Yeah, Janet is the Tim Cook of EYL.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So that's the run. That's the rundown. All right. Hand it over to you, Ian.
Oh, let me make you the host, my guy. Ian, while you're getting situated, I got to talk about our good friends over at Ally.
Please.
Yeah, shout out to Ally, right? So y'all know this is Earn Your Leisure. We want to let you know about a great opportunity to learn how to become a better investor. We and our friends at Ally believe that everyone can and should invest in their future. So Ally is launching their free, I'm stressing the word free digital conference on YouTube Live, Wednesday, June 23rd. Whether you've been investing for years or just opened your first brokerage account, becoming a better investor has something for you. During the conference, speakers will take a look at how to prioritize your finances, the rise of retail trading, different ways to analyze stocks, and how cryptocurrency has changed the investing landscape forever. So don't miss out on the chance to become a better investor for free. Free. Stress the word free. Reserve your spot at ally.com/digital conference. That's ally.com/digital conference. Shout out to the good folks at Ally.
Shout out to Ally. Can we do the disclaimer?
Ally.
Let's do our disclaimer. Ian, you good over there? I'm gonna just run through.
Yeah, I'm good.
Perfect. So our content. Well, first and foremost, do your own research, folks. Please. Our content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with, or independently research and verify any information that you find on our show and wish to rely upon for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. This is a message brought to you by the good folks at Earn Your Leisure and the good brother, Ian Dunlap, the master investor. Do your own research, do your own homework. And we giving you the tools. We giving you the study book for the homework.
Every single week.
That's a big
fact. What to do. Let me know if you guys can see my screen.
Yeah, we got you good over here. We can see it.
I bet. So last week I made a post about my guy Jorge. Congrats to you for making $282,000 on AMC. And for those of you who missed out on the Stock Club call, I want to give you some the top gems from what we learned from that. So if you're excited about that, please put some fire emojis in the chat. First and foremost, disclaimer, please do not copy, remix, reproduce any of the material that you see presented here. We are for the people, for the culture, but the material is ours. Please do not share. Love you dearly. If you want to join the stock club, if you want the greatest entries and picks on the planet, you can go to joinredpanda.com. If I've made you some money, please put money in chat, please. Stock club call will be immediately after the show tonight at 9 p.m. Central. Unless Rashad lets us go over. Subscribe to my YouTube at joinredpanda.com. And then for those of you who've been asking about the crypto club, the link will be available via the email list at joinredpanda.com. So lesson 1, please write this down. Everything, I'm going for 91 tonight. The risk to reward ratio is everything. I wish I could have had my brother on, but I took up about an hour and a half of his time on the stock club call. And at one point, he was in an AMC trade and he was down $11,000. But remember, I told you guys, risk to reward is always everything. You either want to risk $1 to make 5, write that down. You either want to risk 1 to make 10, 1 to make 25, 1 to make 50, or 1 to 100. A lot of times we'll get down in the trade. And then, of course, I was listening to the episode that you guys had with Trap, and Trap was like, hey, man, sometimes in one of my trades, I may be up 60 grand, and some days I may be only up 1,800. The thing that will allows us to stay in a trade is that you have to know what the risk to reward parameters that you are using beforehand, so you know when to get in and when to get out. So that's number 1. Lesson number 2. Everyone was asking, what did he start with? But the thing that he wanted to stress to everyone, it doesn't matter what you start with. You just have to start. I'm going to be honest. I know some of you have been watching the show since last year and you have not taken your first trade yet or your first investment. Why? I've given you every good stock on the planet, every bad one, and the 3 that I may have messed up on. I've said, hey, man, I messed up my bad and made up for it. You have to get started. Lesson number 3, stop hesitating and take the trade. And I'm going to just say this humbly and respectfully, especially when I call it. Some of you should know my body language and mannerisms enough. When something is going to take off, take the trade. Don't hesitate. Do your own research. Even if we have a parabolic move to the upside and we slide back down and there's another chance to get in, usually on here, I will call out where. And then for those of you who ask questions tonight, please have 4 or 5 stocks that you want to ask about tonight so I can be able to help you. Lesson number 4, master the craft. This is most important. It took him 11 months of practice with frustration, and he's married. So fellas, you know how it is. If you got a significant other or you're married, you're working on something and it doesn't produce results, the significant other is like, yo, what are you doing wasting time? You could be working on something else. It took 11 months. Let me ask you this, but would you practice and learn how to trade for 10 months or 11 months to then turn around while on vacation to make $282,000 in a matter of days? Put yes or no in chat. Master the craft. This is a business. Some kids work on going to the NBA for 19 years of their lives, 20 years of their lives. A lot of people go to school for 12 years. You're telling me you can't take 11 months, 12 months, 18 months, 60 months to master a craft in which you can make money on demand? I'm telling you, it is absolutely worth it. Number 5, you have to learn how to trade to be a better investor. So for my long-term investors, this is the gap that you have to close. And this is the sweet spot that I saw. I noticed most investors did not know how to trade well, and most traders don't know how to invest. So I was like, let me take Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch's model and blend it with Paul Tudor Jones, rolled in one. And when you are a good trader, you're able to get better entries long term. Then you have to become a better investor to be a better trader. To all my traders, get off of the 5 minute, get off of the 1 minute. It is a losing parameter. Go to a higher time frame. And here's the thing, I've always said it. The cheat code is if you wake up and you see that NASDAQ is up a ton, if you're invested in it, or the S&P 500 is up, you generally know what the market is going to do for that day. So if you're already long-term investing, it gives you a cheat code to know what to do intraday. Lesson number 7, 12 trades per year. Everybody on here. Earners, Bread Panda family, everybody on YouTube, 12 trades per year. Here's the thing. Once you start to bleed to 30, 60, 80 trades, if you're not using the algorithm, you have a higher probability of losing. Who in here thinks they can win 10 out of 12 trades or 9 out of 12 trades? Most here can. But you hear so much noise, which if talk is cheap, those that are debating are trying to keep you from getting real money. All you need is 12 good trades for the year to make a significant impact on your life. Lesson 8, asymmetric risk to reward. And I'm going to bring it up again later, but asymmetric risk to reward is everything. Indicators are not the thing that matter most. Everyone's always talking about indicators, RSI, stochastic, moving averages, VWAP. If that was the secret, everyone that used EMAs or SMAs would make a lot of money. This is it. Risking 1 to make 25. So I want you to be dedicated for the next year. Write in chat right now. If you are putting $1 of risk on the table, how much are you looking to earn in every trade? Every earner, I need you to reply. Every Red Panda member, I need you to reply, especially Dream Team. Because once you know that, if you lose 3 trades in a row, you won't be that shaken. If you know that but if you don't know your risk to reward, you'll be in a lot of danger later. I want to point out too, Moderna is up 535% since the launch of the stock club. We gave it to you guys here for free for the culture. So for all this, they're not for the culture, and I'm tired of you guys with your well-lined beards. No, we gave that for free. If you have not got into it, give me a couple weeks. I'll give you guys another price to get into it. Number 9, this is key. In order to obtain freedom, you must endure moments of bondage, even when you're free. I won't get into anyone's personal business, but I'll be honest, we've all had tough days when we still showed up here when we probably shouldn't have. Freedom is not this illusion that you just get to sail on the beach and live the IG lifestyle. A lot of you who are saying that you want to be free, in order to get free, you have to be in bondage in terms of your work schedule and building systems to get free. And once you get free, guess what? There's more bondage that surround you. That's what people won't tell you. There's been plenty of days when things are going on behind the scenes that all of us probably should have walked away and taken a day off, but we're still, and we're not doing it for a pity party. But even when you become free, the consistency and work ethic that you have, you're still going to be bonded to if you want to continue to remain free. I want to point this out. Hot take. Shopify is the eBay of this era, and Stripe is the new PayPal. I'm going to say it again. Shopify is to this era what eBay was in the late 90s, early 2000s, and Stripe is the new PayPal. So when Stripe IPOs, I know you guys are going to ask, wait 60 days, but I think they will be a dominant force in the space for a long time. Number 10, this is so key for every trader. Print out your trading charts. Analog, a great lesson that I learned out of this book called Inside Apple, Jim, to buy. Steve Jobs planned everything in analog first, which means he whiteboarded it out or wrote it out first and then planned in digital. Traders, when I ask you, hey, 18 weeks ago on a Tuesday, how did your trades go? I know 99% of people are not able to answer that question. If you print out your trading charts every single day, not only will you be able to see patterns a lot clearer, you will be able to see the mistakes that you made. And also you were probably entering higher into the market if you were looking to buy, or you were shorting too much lower than you initially expected. Please print out your charts every single trading session, whether you took a live trade or not. And here's a great point that he pointed out when we're on a call. He mentioned he lost out on $66,000 in additional gains by being impatient. Put this in chat. Impatience costs us profit. Either you jump into a trade too late, too early, or you get into a move. I feel everybody who bought Doge at 60. We gave you the levels in which to tell you, hey, this is resistance, this is support. You have to wait. And this is why I always tell you guys, blocking out the noise is so key. It's so key. Because often a lot of the people that are telling you to get into a move, or man, Ian and Trevor, I don't know what they're talking about. They just don't want nobody to get the bag. Guess what? They're using you for their own liquidity to get out of the trade. Yeah, I'm gonna buy Doge at 65, but they don't know nothing. I love market mondays, but I hate them today. No, I'm gonna get it at the top, and then it falls apart. Guess what? Those people are trying to get out of those positions. Please be careful. And I'll say this: you need diamond hands for good assets. Man, people have diamond hands for some of the shittiest assets out there. And the thing that I was stressing, so I was on a trip and I'm like, I need you guys to hold your trades longer. Here's the secret with long-term investing that applies to short-term. The longer you hold your intraday trades, the more money you can make. Some of you are holding trades for too short of a period. And even if you're trading an asset, we'll talk about Naked and AMC tonight. But some of you are getting into the move and be like, damn, I was in the trade for 3 minutes. If I would have held it for an hour, I would have made 15,000, 28,000. You need diamond hands for good assets and good trades. Lesson 13, please let it run. For all of you that are trading futures, please let your trades run for at least 30 minutes to 2 hours. You have specific targets. Like if you went into a job and let's say you went to go work for EYL or Red Panda, and we were like, hey, man, we're going to pay you $225,000 a year for this job. When you're not letting your trade run, that's like saying, no, man, just pay me $28,000. I don't need $225,000. None of you would do that in the job interview. But in your trades, you'll have a breakout move and be like, let me just take profit here when you can have a tremendous move. Remember, only 12 great trades on the year can make a difference for you, your family, future generations that are coming after. And this ties in. You don't want to walk away from your trades because you don't want to make real money. And I get it. I used to self-sabotage like crazy. I know. Whether in trading or in business. Another good book is called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. He always says whatever starts inside of your mind eventually forms itself into reality in your outside world. That's very true. I would even have meetings. I'd be like, man, I hope they don't call. I hope this meeting doesn't go through because I was afraid. But once you get over that fear, I'm telling you, life becomes a lot better when you don't sabotage. And for those of you that are not walking away from your trades, it is an active form of self-sabotage. Because we've all seen people that are not that good of a trader, but they hit a hell of a home run. And then you're like, how the hell did they make that trade? They let the trade sit a little bit longer than we normally would. Lesson number 15. I'm going to say it again. Please, if you learn nothing else from me on the trading side, know this. Risk to reward is more important than indicators. It doesn't damn near matter what indicator you use. If you use an indicator that is flawless, and I've known people that have won 99% of their trades and ended up negative. I know people that traded 30% and they make between $20,000 and $60,000 a month. It's all about risk to reward. If I'm risking $1 to make 25 or $1 to make 10, and you're risking $1 to make $1.10, who's going to win the battle? That's the name of the game. Risk to reward is more important than indicators. Let me ask you this for all my traders. Do you have your trading plan in front of you every day while trading? And do you never deviate from it? I know everybody say what the trading plan is. Great. 3 Wednesdays from now, how many points will you go for, or is it an off day? Is it a research day? Is it a film day? Another gym? You need to record every live trading session, whether you trade or not, because then what's going to happen is you're going to have a breakdown or a day on which we drop a lot based off news and some report comes out, and it's going to repeat that same kind of cycle. And you're going to be like, damn, this is the move that happened in November. For me, one of the hardest crashes that I first saw I made a lot of money on was August 24th, 2015. I remember the weekend prior, that's a Monday. The Friday prior, I remember the market sliding down like crazy. And the Sunday, I was flying to Denver. I remember being on the train, seeing the Nikkei slide and then ES follow. When you see moves like that, they get embedded in your brain. That same move from August 24th, 2015 prepared me for the slide of March of 2020. The market repeats itself. It's not the exact same. Shout out to my traders if you've ever seen a breakdown move and then you've seen it repeat itself a year or two later. You have to have your trading plan in front of you every single day and do not deviate from it. Lesson 17, shot selection is everything. And I was saying this on a call. Arguably, with the exception of range, Westbrook and Dame Lillard have the same heart. They're built from the same kind of player. They're both Iverson-esque. What's the difference between the two? Shot selection. I love Russ with all my heart. Russ does not have as good a shot selection as Dame. Same thing in trading. Some of you can trade your asses off, but guess what? You take too many trades, 7 trades in a day, or the emotions kick in and you're trading too much size in the middle of the day. Stay away from that zombie dead zone hour. Like after 11 o'clock to 1:30, there's nothing to do. If you're trading the S&P 500 Dow product, NASDAQ product, you need to look at the first hour and be done, and then look at the close. You're trading at 12 o'clock, 12:30, you're going to get chopped up. Please type this. Shot selection is everything. And if I'm looking from a competitive landscape, a lot of you can trade very well, but I know you won't wait for the right shot. all of us that have played ball, we know the one guy, if we swing the ball and we skip it to the corner, he's going to shoot that ball. If 9 people on him, he doesn't care because he just want to get a shot off. Look at the Mayweather fight last night. It was not the most entertaining. The first round, look how selective he was in attacking Paul. And even though Paul doesn't have enough punching power to knock him out per se, he still respected what could happen. Please know, shot selection is everything. Lesson 18, please write this down. You cannot overtrade your way to freedom. And this is from a person, me, who used to take 14 to 20 trades in a day in 2016, 2017. And the days in which they were great, oh, baby, you couldn't tell me nothing. And the days that I lost, oh, I was so upset you could not tell me nothing. You cannot overtrade your way to freedom. That is another mechanism or another action in self-sabotage. And I'll tell you this, options crash, cryptos crash, NFTs crash. We've given you the blueprint. 2 tech, 2 index, and trade futures. That is the blueprint. Episode 70, classic, shoulda win triple. If you have not heard it, I give the entire blueprint there. Please master your craft. And I want to say this from a perspective for business owners. Like when I approached Troy Rashad, like, yo, episode 70 was dope. We should do a show. My entire strategy was to give everything away to show people, hey, I'm one of the best to do this. For those of you that are looking to build your brand, because I see a lot of you want to get into the space, the only thing that separates you from everyone else is your ability to help others win. If you want to build a base, you always can team up, but give your picks away. And if you get results, people will follow you. And I want to say this. And leave it up on the screen. I'm going to say, for those of us that are here giving value, if we have made you money on this show, please put yes in chat. Because I'll argue that we have probably the best investing show on the planet. And we need some more likes too to match these views. And we're outperforming everybody by a mile, but we may not get the same credit. And if we've been a superhero to you, just put yes in chat and superhero. And I love y'all so much. I think I know why we don't always get the credit, but we are the culture. I'm happy to have been able to serve you. And if you've enjoyed these lessons tonight, please let me know. Love you. Over and out.
My dog.
Yeah. Great presentation. Appreciate that as always. A lot of information. So if you wasn't able to catch that, make sure you catch the replay and take your notes and implement. Most importantly, implement. So yeah, that was actually very, very helpful.
You the guy in the corner. If 3 guys on.
No, Shawty gonna hit the corner 3 though.
He gonna make it. I ain't saying he ain't gonna make it.
He gonna make it. Yeah, he gonna Kyle
it.
Watson the butter rim that Georgetown.
Kyle Watson. That's a fact. Please like the video. Don't forget to
Please do. Even if you don't like us, like it.
Yes, it helps. Okay, so before we get to Q&A part, let's get into some hot topics that I know a lot of people are interested in. AMC, shout out to my guy Charlemagne the God. He hit me. He's a big movie enthusiast. And,
he got in.
Yeah, he invested in that. So AMC is one of these things. It's like GameStop, and it's interesting. Shout out to Kenny Burns. I was talking about on his show today. AMC stock is up 500% in the last 30 days. It is on a unprecedented run. And the reason why I say it's like the GameStop situation is it's a lot of similarities to it. They actually made up a new term where they're calling these things meme stocks, where groups online decide to, this is the stock that we want to pump, and it pumps. And it's not just stock, crypto. We saw it happen with a couple cryptocurrencies, Dogecoin being the most popular, but it wasn't just Doge. It was a few other ones. And it's been, happened with, the BlackBerry situation, the AMC, GameStop. AMC is the latest one. So it's technical analysis, fundamental analysis does not support a 500% increase. People are still not going back to movie theaters in droves like that. They still have financial issues. Under normal circumstances, AMC stock would not be up 500% in 30 days. But this is the new world that we live in. And it's not something that we can dismiss because even GameStop, the stock is still up. It has not fallen.
Yeah, a bunch of analysts say like this is a $9 stock, this is a $10 stock. Well,
yeah,
it
well,
hasn't really come back under 120, 140. So
yeah, I
it's a
mean,
new way of trading.
it's actually a $280 stock,
Yeah.
and it was up $31 today, and it's up $5 in the after hours. So, hey, one thing about, you can't be a dinosaur, and you can't be afraid to embrace what's going on in the world. And whether you like it or not, it's happening. And it's lasted a lot longer than most people thought, including myself. This GameStop situation, it's staying up, and AMC might be the next one to have that type of run.
I was showing you a statistic right before we came on. I was like looking at the insider trading, and so if you look at the history of AMC in the past 5 years, they've had 3 insiders trade in the past 5 years, right? Last year, 2020, not one insider sold stock, not one. This year, 2021, they've had 9 insiders trade. I thought it was kind of funny because they had a list of the people who actually sold off. And so it shows them their title. And so you have the CFO. He sold 45,000 shares in the second quarter. He sold it at $9.49. I'm like, wow. Had he just waited maybe a month, right, and it ran up to 60, he's looking at a totally different situation. But this is the chief financial officer, so
because he knows that it wasn't justified.
Exactly,
it wasn't justified to be $9.
Exactly. He's like, I'm out of it. Let me take profit now. But then you had a couple other people, a couple of other officers that sold at 62 and sold at 57 and sold at 33. And so people on the insider trading, it's like this is new. It's
one of the most shortest stocks on Wall Street. Short sellers are down $2 billion, I believe, so far this year. I think like 15% of the stock is being shorted. So people are still betting that the stock is going to go down. People still think that, it's only a matter of time before this thing falls apart, but it hasn't. So how do we feel about this AMC situation? Ian, what's your thoughts?
You guys got to go look at who is holding it long term and why. Once again, like last month it was Doge and every crypto. I want you guys to notice every month they're rotating now. That's what I tell you. You can't chase rotation because it'll rotate you right into poverty. Last year, cyclical, consumer cyclical, great tech. Now it's crypto, meme stock. They're never going to tell you ahead of time what to invest in. AMC will probably top out around like $80.04 flat and then start to slide down. But you guys need to go look and see what institutions and people that work in hedge funds that are holding AMC and why. It's the same game.
Did the purple ball just come out? I think the purple ball just came out.
Just letting everybody know. So, but good trade, and that's why I tell everyone. I know you guys think I'm a one-trick pony, and that was part intentional in my brand to let you only think that I only know about indexes. Is going to continue to go up, but what they're not saying on the underside of this, how bad the economy is messed up. The reason why they're rotating from crypto to meme stocks, because over the next 2 or 3 years, they know that the environment won't be as easy, and they're trying to front run all the gains they can now. That's the other side of the game that they're not telling you about. Is AMC worth 80? No, but if the price goes there, you probably should look to take profit either at $80.04 or at $71.33. Take profit, have a good trade, and enjoy. Jorge did. Like Jorge doesn't care if AMC goes out of business because he already took profit. Great job.
I'm glad you said take profit, Ian, because a lot of people have hit us up and especially hit my DM up, and it's like, I told you, and I'm like, great trade, not mad at it. I'm always happy if you make money, but where are you gonna get out at, right? Because then when it hit 62, next day it pulled back 18%, and it was like, oh my gosh,
and people panicked.
Real quiet. It got real quiet. I'm like, well, you had an opportunity, right? Where was your out before you entered the position? Where was your out? And so if you knew that going in, then you had a decent trade. So I'm glad you said that. Take profit, know where you're going to get out before you enter position. But
and same with GameStop. It's same thing with GameStop. Apple is 125. GameStop is at 280. Do we honestly believe that GameStop is more valuable than Apple? You can't play the same manipulation kind of games with Apple or Microsoft or AMD as you could AMC or GameStop though. But if you're making money from it, I'm elated. Just know where you're going to exit.
Yeah. And that's one of the things. It's like, well, how do I know when? How do I know? I text you earlier. I'm like, I look at the volume, right? If you see what the volume number is when you looking into these positions, it's like there's a lot of volume here. All right, well, let's look at the chart. Like, obviously the fundamentals aren't going to match up, but let's look at the technical analysis. Does this even make sense? And a lot of times it doesn't, but this is a new way of trading. I saw our guy, Chris Brown, talking about, he's like, look, retail trading is not your grandfather's retail trading. It's a whole new game now.
Yeah, so we got to get adjusted to the volume, but this has happened before. Anybody that's traded Forex or traded penny stocks back in the day, the same thing happened. Tim Sykes led that wave, and people criticize him for it, but it's no different. Reddit just became the community, a group that floated something up. Anybody that's traded longer than 2 years, you've seen this happen before. People can call it market manipulation. You can call it momentum. This has happened before. It happened with WorldCom and happened with Enron. That's why I tell you guys, if you go study, it's literally like playing the same team over and over, but just in a different uniform. This has happened thousands of times before. Anybody ever traded the Euro USD and you've seen the market fall apart and you've seen like the manipulation, et cetera, right? Crypto, it happened in 2016. So for those of you that were in Bitcoin, GBTC went up, but BTSC went down. Same underlying asset, but one shot up to the moon and one fell to the floor. I'm telling you, like, most of these quote unquote retail traders are institutional people trading out of their personal account with insider information and floating it up. Like, it's no, now even with crypto, at the Miami conference, shout out to everybody that was at the Miami conference. All of a sudden, everyone hates Elon. But last week, what would Pimp C say? If it was Elon and Bitcoin when everything was good, it got to be Elon and Bitcoin when everything is bad. Like, you have to look and understand that how the game is being played. This has happened historically over and over and over again. And usually it's at the signs of a weak economy. It's a bunch of institutional guys doing this, not Pipmaster 98 on Instagram doing this. But I'm gonna let everybody think what they want to think, and then we'll see in a couple months.
Yeah, and then everybody's got their own strategy, so you can do what you want. That's the great part of life. Everybody's an expert on Instagram.
Absolutely. Network's different though. And Naked, we got to talk about Naked as well.
Right. but what? Yeah, Charlemagne. What I was talking to Charlemagne, and shout out to him because he did it before I even told him. I'm like, yo, you should take your initial investment out at least, and then it's kind of like he's like, yeah, I already did that. So
yeah,
you just got to have different protections in place when you're playing with these situations, because I mean, it's a difference between a hustle and an investment. It's a nice hustle, and I respect the hustle. Can't knock the hustle. Jay said that in '96, but just understand what it is. Don't fall in love with it. You can't fall in love with an investment. That's like one of the number one rules. You can't have an emotional attachment to an investment. So I noticed that people have strong emotional attachments to investments these days.
Got to take the emotion out of it.
They become mascots for them. But make your money, but just, be careful and understand your exit strategy. Take profits. You can never lose by taking a profit. Yeah. Never. You can never lose. Nobody has ever lost by taking a profit.
Yeah, I think what makes it interesting too is that the excitement around it brings more people into the space. And so now the people that you never would have thought of looking at the stock market are now asking about AMC. And it's like, well, where did you hear it? And like, oh, my friend at work made money from it. And so like we always say the same thing. Good trade. I'm not sure if it's a great long-term investment. And we just got to know the difference between the two. If you make money on it, great. If you can capitalize and take out your initial investment, great. More power to you. It's not a knock on us.
Yeah,
trust me.
I'm gonna
go
back
to make money.
I'm gonna go back to the real estate investors because they get a lot of insight, and I feel like they understand markets a lot better. Notice whenever stocks become the hottest thing on earth, it's inside of a bubble. 99, 2000, 2001, 05, 07, 08, 2010, 2016, 2020. When the market is calm and the economy is good, no hedge fund manager is going on Bloomberg, RT News, seeking alpha and giving any insights. Bland statements. Then when the market is hot and you need to move the market around a little bit, they're a little bit more active. Go look at the years in which we've had a bubble and then see, even do this as a homework assignment. Go Google when stock searches on Google were the highest. Why was nobody talking about this 2 months ago when everyone was on crypto, like the insiders normally give the information for people to buy into it so they can then liquidate. Because it's easier if I have a limit order set at 55. If you guys push it to 72 and I have 300,000 shares, it's guaranteed that I'll be able to get out and not get pinched with insider trading. Because I was 20 points or 30 points off the marker for where the stock actually went. I got out earlier than everyone. It's a game inside of a game. If you ever watch Billions, you've seen it. But be careful. Know the difference between a good trade and a good investment.
That's a fact. Let's talk about biotech.
Yeah.
So very important news came out today that there's an Alzheimer's. It's not a drug where it completely cures it, but it slows down the progress of Alzheimer's. Still, like, you know, a long way to go, but it's the first drug that has gotten approved for Alzheimer's in
20 years.
20 years. Yeah. So yeah, it's a very, very, if anybody's ever been affected with that, I had grandfather and grandmother that both suffered from that. So that's a very, that's a tough one. So that's good news. Hopefully, you know, that's something that can help people, because if you ever seen somebody that suffers with that, it's a very tolling,
heartbreaking.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to deal with. So hopefully, from a medical standpoint, from a humanitarian standpoint, hopefully they do actually make some improvements with that, because that's something that there really has been no improvements made since, you know, forever. But also from the investment side of things, biotech is something that we've talked about on this show several different times. IBB talked about that.
XBI
6 months ago. Yeah. ARKG.
Yep. BNGO.
Yeah. So IBB was up $5 today. So, you know, biotech, regardless of anything, I mean, we don't buy stocks. We don't buy investments just based off of news. That's not something that we are into, because we're more solid investors long term. We want to really teach fundamentals. But this is just like good news on the biotech field. But I say that to say biotech, in my opinion, is something that is only going to go up in the next 10 years, not only because of Corona, not only because of this. It's something that if you really study the space, it makes complete sense. And we talk about technology so much. So the combination of technology and medicine, which is biotech, it's kind of a no-brainer that this is a space that will see substantial growth, I think, in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah. And so, and this is why we always say do your research. So probably around 6:30 this morning, I had read the article that this was going to happen. Biogen was going to make this announcement. And so when the market opened at 9:30, the stock was trading, I'm looking at it now, was trading at $280. By 11 o'clock, right? By 1 o'clock, actually, the stock had jumped up to $458. So that's when we talk about do your research. You wake up, you hear that news, not that you're going to invest on the news, but if you believe in biotech, if you were in that investment, you know something positive is happening. This is a game changer for the biotechnical field. This could obviously be a home run as far as an investment. And at one, I think it was up 57% at its high today.
Yeah.
And so we watched all those positions that we had. We watched the ARKG go up today. We watched IBB go up today. We watched BNGO go up today, on the news of something that is sort of related because it's the same field, but not directly. So that's how it is, man. And that's why we say do your research, because your research can turn into an amazing investment play for you.
Yeah. And if you look at the healthcare space, it's been up overall. I mean, Moderna shot up a lot last week. That was a sign that you can look, but IBB, XBI, you can index or ETF your way into that if you guys are unsure, and then just hold for the long period of time. Like as we get older, we live longer. Genetics and biotech is going to be so important, probably 3 times as more important over the next 20 years. And even if you're looking at IBB right now, I mean, they've only had, the last time they had a bad quarter, look, was in 2018. I mean, and then XBI has only had 8 bad quarters since 2010. I mean, it's a safe area. And the recessions, look at tech, pharma, biotech, and then you'll be safe. You'll be safe.
Yeah. So yeah, once again, I think that's something that you have to just, it's not something that is really that hard to figure out. You understand that coronavirus is here, and that's something that is now going to become a seasonal situation. No matter how you
talk
feel
about the Fauci emails. I'm going to cut you off, but how deep?
Let's look. Yeah, well, we gotta tread thin lines here.
Okay, I'm with that.
Gotta tread thin lines here.
Shout
out to Reza Islam, man.
I told you guys not to get that damn vaccine.
He's on his fifth Instagram page.
Yo, hold your head, Reza.
Yeah.
I was waiting. I didn't text you this, but I wanted your thoughts because obviously we're big fans of Amazon, and obviously Tesla. The race to space has just intensified. So I want to know your thoughts on that. We saw Jeff Bezos decide that, you know what, I'm going out of space in the next month. I want this race that between two companies, and obviously Amazon announced news today that they're also going to be same day delivery. So like how you order your groceries from Instacart, Amazon is now very close to having same day delivery. But that race to space, what are your thoughts from two giants in the CEO world?
I love Elon, but when Anonymous sent out that notice this weekend, Elon needs to tighten up a little bit, because when you start manipulating markets and you're having an adverse effect, that's not good. And then also, I mean, anyone that's studied, they know that the crypto investment was one of the best investments into the company. It's gonna be tough. And then Amazon is well capitalized. Jeff is a very shrewd CEO, very strategic, and they all have egos. So they all want to be first there. I don't know what's going to happen with these UFO emails and discoveries, but I kind of told you guys last year what I thought about the whole UFO and life on other planets thing.
You're big on a UFO situation.
I just think if you believe in God and all the universe and galaxies that He's created, we would have to be idiotic to think that we're the only life form in existence with all the solar systems and planets that are in the universe.
That's a fact.
Just be honest. Like, we can't be so arrogant to think that we are so special if God made all of the land and moon. Like, but I don't want to get into that. So I'm gonna just leave it there. But yeah, there has to be other life. Otherwise, like, why are they trying? Either that they're going to Mars because they want to destroy Earth and leave everyone else behind, or they know that there are other civilizations elsewhere. If this is your first time watching, don't hit me with Alex Jones conspiracy thing, but just do some research. Do some research.
Oh man!
But there have been other.
They're gonna hit Ian with the lights. They're gonna hit him with the lights. Let's go to questions. They're gonna hit him with the Men in Black. They're gonna hit him with the Men in Black lights.
Yeah, I'm good.
They're gonna forget everything he ever thought about.
Yo, blink twice if you okay, bro.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Check on them. They're gonna clone
a lot of the technology that we get now is from prior civilizations. I'll say that, especially in comedic sciences and stuff. But I'm gonna stay off that. Yeah,
we got somebody you need to talk to.
You got to go to Inception.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
In the Wealth Podcast.
Shout out to my guy Billy Carson.
Billy Carson
is a legend.
A legend in the game.
A legend.
A legend in the game. Shout out to Billy. Shout out to Billy.
Most innocent man on earth.
For sure.
All right, well, let's try this. Cisco, we coming to you. Unmute yourself. You've been unmuted. What's going on? Yeah, shout out to the Inception team. They'll be here in New York this week.
Yeah, for sure. Good people.
Yeah, my man Dave.
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Quick question.
What's going on with you?
All right. Listen, I'm going crazy with this options thing, man. I see when you guys say invest $1 and make 25. How do you do that? Could you explain it really quick? And with options, like if I know a certain stock is going to hit a certain price by a certain day, how can I make an option play on it? Because I could watch a video 100 times. I get it. As soon as I turn it off, I forget it. So what's a simple way to just memorize it? Like if, for example, Square hits a certain price.
What price are you thinking is going to hit? And I'll tell you if it's going to hit that price.
All right. I saw it hit 194. Between 192 and 196. It does that every couple months, but it usually bounces, let's say between, I would say 202 and like 217 around there. So how could I make, like if it was an options play, how could I play that stock?
I don't want you to say play. I want you to say investment because everyone who says play, I think thinks too short term. No, you good. I'm just here to help. If you buy in at 192, hypothetically, what price would you need it to get to a multiple of 25? Now, if you go on Google, they have a whole bunch of futures calculators and options calculators. But I'm looking, if it bounces to 192.70, the top that it probably gets you is 264.86, probably 243.10. Then you need to see for how much you invest or what multiple are you going to get. So if you put in $1,000, will you get 10,000 back, 5,000, 15,000, etc. Now, the more risk you put on, the higher the reward, but also you got to look at probability. So if you do like a daily option, super dangerous, weekly, super dangerous, you could make more, but the risk is higher. So when I'm saying risk one to make 25, you have to calculate that before you get into the trade and not after. But if you go and Google and look at the options calculator, also too, I'll say this too. I know it's not the sexy answer and people don't want to hear it. Have you taken 300 practice trades before you do it? And everybody killed me for saying that last year. And if they would have, a lot of people would have lost a lot less money. Because what I want you to do is master the craft of it, not just jumping in and gambling with it.
And Cisco, are you asking like how to actually like do it?
Yeah, like how to look at it and say, okay, I look at the charts and it gets confusing when I say, okay, it says 2023, this certain price. I want to know how to gauge that. Like if I have a strong feeling it's going to do it within the next month or so. Because right now, what I've been doing, like ever since I've been listening to you guys, and for real, much props to you guys because you made me like a little more patient, a little more knowledgeable. Mm-hmm. I've been buying the stock at 196 and selling it at 122.70. Mm-hmm. I think it was the last trade. And I've been hitting like the last, I say 12 out of the last 16 trades. I made money. You know what I'm saying? And I started going, like, let's say maybe making 300-400, here and there, but then going maybe another 1,000, 2,000. My last one was for like 1,300. And I'm waiting. If I would have been a little more patient, I would have made a little more. But if I would have waited till it hit the 196, I bought in at 206 and sold at, what was it, 222.80, something like that. So
good exit.
Good.
Thank you.
I mean, as far as actually doing it, that's the easy part. As far as I don't know what platform you use, but I use TD Ameritrade if I'm doing an option, and you go on the chain, and they give you the dates all the way from like maybe like a week as early as a week and as late as maybe like 3 years, depending on the option. And then you look at the price, and then you might say, okay, I want a $300 option, 200, 250, whatever. Then you look at the bid and the ask, and then you actually just buy it. Of course, well, I shouldn't say of course, because people might not know, but the shorter the time frame, the more volatile, the more risky you can make more. The longer the time frame, the less it's still going to be volatile regardless, because options are still volatile, but it's less risky. Obviously, the closer you are to the money, the less risky. The further out you are, the more risk involved, but you can also make more on the reward. So I think it's just a matter of putting together your strategy to say, okay, this is something that I feel comfortable with, because ultimately there's no guarantees, right? It's like, it's not guaranteed. If you have a 200 call on Apple, you can't 100% guarantee that Apple's going to hit $200.
Not the way it's trading now.
You make an educated decision based off of your research, and then you buy the option.
Yeah, and Cisco, I'll tell you another way that people lose money, and it's a good way that you could actually save and actually gain some money, is that bid and that ask. Like that's something that people just kind of overlook. They set the market limit, and whatever the market tells them, that's what they buy. But if you start looking at the bid and the ask in this way, it's going to help you, right? So I always tell people the ask. If you're buying a car, the ask is the sticker price. Right? The bid is what you're willing to pay.
Yeah.
So if the ask is $5, right, but the bid is $3.70, I'm looking at it like, all right, well, I want to pay $3.70, and this is my limit. And so I'll click my order, and if it's fulfilled, great. But I also know that I have the patience to say like, all right, well, if it doesn't fill, I'm going to wait 24 hours, or I'll come back tomorrow until they say like, all right, well, you're going to be filled at 370. Had I just took it at 5, automatically I'm gonna be in the negative, right? Because the bid hasn't matched the ask yet. And like a lot of people, when they buy options, they go right into the negative. Like, how'd I lose money already? I just bought it. That's how.
And then also the last thing I'll say about that, everybody has their own strategy. So for me personally, I understand that you don't really need a lot of money to make a lot of money in options, and you don't need to win every single trade to make a lot of money in options. So for instance, I've talked about this several different times, especially in our group chat, but people might know that I'm in SMH and I've made a substantial amount of money on that trade so far. I'm up over 6 figures. So, but I have like 4 or 5 options that I'm actually down on right now. But that one SMH makes up for all of those that I'm down and more.
Yep.
So for me, it's like, all right, I'm not going to risk. So like, let's say I have a portfolio, and 10% of that portfolio is going to be in crypto. Let's say, 20% is going to be for my retirement. So that leaves 70% left, right? So I might at the most probably put like 20% in options, maybe even less, and then the rest in long-term buy and holds. So what I'm saying is that you diversify because you don't need to put 100% of your portfolio. I mean, obviously depending on how much money you have, but you get 1 or 2 really good option plays and you can, hit the home run. The problem is that if you lose consistently on options, you're going to lose it's very conceivable to lose 95%, 80%, 100%. So it's dangerous if you are over leveraging yourself. So just take that into consideration. Spread it out, and it's like baseball. Baseball is a sport where if you hit 40%, you're a Hall of Famer. That means you're actually striking out 60% of the time.
Who's in 40? Ted Williams?
Well, you're like the greatest of all time. So if you hit 30%, you're an all-star. So just take that into consideration. I look at options kind of like baseball. Like, you hit a couple home runs and it doesn't matter if you struck out 6 times.
Yeah, and then also for Square, you need to wait to 182.63.
Nice.
So
nice.
It's gonna bleed down a little bit. I love Square. I'm on the record. Square is the new JP Morgan. You gotta wait. We're gonna have a nice little pullback. You need to research what happens from June to August historically, and then you'll understand why. But once you get into a trade, like when I trade the bond futures, like if I put on a trade, I know what I'm going to make before I hit buy bid or sell ask. You have to know if you put $100 in, 1,000, 10, what are you going to make? That's a part of this thing I talked about tonight. You're playing how much you're going to make. If you take a trade 9 months from now and it's trade 13, you should know how much you're going to make out of that trade on the short end, how much you could lose. All that has to be capped and it has to be run like a business. I see everybody treating trading, futures investing, options like a hustle. And then they don't know what their numbers are. And then things go to hell. And it's like, what happened? I'm like, you didn't have a plan. Like I know in 2028 how many trades I'm going to take for the year. You have to plan it out. So, but that price will give you a little bit of an edge too. So,
and Cisco, I'm gonna give you this last thing, and I took this from Shadi when he was talking about how he banks, but I actually use this for how I trade. Keep your trades organized, right? So, like if you're doing long-term options, I have one brokerage account that does that. If I'm doing short-term, I have a brokerage account that does that. If I'm on long-term stock, I have an account that does that. Because what'll happen is you'll think, all right, well, all my contracts expire in 2022, and then you forget that you had one that was June 18th, and then it expires, and you forgot that it was even there. So keep it organized so that you know exactly where everything's happening at. If you're doing it, and if I'm doing day trading, this is where I'm going to TD. If I'm doing long-term, I'm in my E-Trade. If I'm doing I'm holding stock positions or I'm holding a custodial account, that might be in my Fidelity. You know what I mean? Just make it a little bit easier for you, so that way you don't get lost and things don't get lost. Money doesn't get lost. All right.
Yeah. And I'll say the same ones you're trading, you should be same thing I said earlier. You will know the direction of the trade if you're already long-term invested into it.
Yes.
For me, I know. Go ahead.
That's why I picked Square and Apple. Okay. Apple, I'm into a little too heavy, so I'm waiting for that to get back where I can basically break even and then just.
What's your average price in the Apple?
133.52, I think it is.
Yeah, you're 2 hours. You got to wait 3 months. You'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah,
fellas, thank you so much, man. Listen,
thank you.
My little 9-year-old came to me the other day, emptied out his piggy bank, threw it on top of my table while I was working, and told me, "Daddy, invest my money." And that's because
incredible.
He sees me watching you guys, and I talked to him about it. So again, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you guys.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man.
That's dope.
Many blessings.
That's so dope. Ian, we got a question here that, we had some people submit questions. So I'm gonna ask one of them. It says here, what do you think? This is from Rashad Perry. Shout out to Rashad Perry. He said, what do you think could possibly be the next emerging market? What are your thoughts?
I don't want to go down this Billy Carson route, but you want to know the truth?
Please.
Human cloning.
Ooh.
Give it 15 years. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not
He's
telling you
fire.
some shit that I
He's on a
heard.
roll today. He's on a roll today.
I'm not. Okay, Classic should have won triple. We're gonna come back and see. Elon
roll.
moves to Mars and has a farm. Okay,
Hey, yo,
I'm gonna say it one time. Leave it at that.
For Gucci Man's clone, and one for Kodak Black's too. That's so
just saying.
Wow. See now that's an interesting answer. All right, cool.
I'm not telling you what I heard. Okay, if people are, if we're going to live longer, and we want to eliminate Alzheimer's or any version of diabetes 3 or organ replacement, and there's more people than ever on the planet, and they cannot get the population control thing to happen for them fast enough, they're either going to have to kill off people en masse, which, or they're going to have to be able to supply enough organ replacements for individuals. There are companies already actively working on this. Don't want to go too deep, but what do you think these tunnels underground that still exist from the underground railroads where kids are being taken, what do you think that organ harvesting is about?
I actually saw that. I saw
man, like I'm not telling, but Apple, Microsoft, 2index, 2tech. Leave me alone. Don't. What's my man name? Einstein me. Don't Ghislaine. I don't want to go too deep. I don't know nothing. Apple, Microsoft, 2index, 2tech. Hey Xander, love you, baby. That's it. That's the business, though. That is the business.
Yeah, for sure.
Ian Carson.
Yeah, pay your taxes. Yeah, definitely pay your taxes, man.
Best advice.
Yes.
Oh my God, Jeremy, what's going on? The Bay's in the house. Jeremy, what's the deal, man?
Nah, Southern Cali, man. You keep locking me into the bag, but
I know because you came with the dudes from the Bay. My fault, bro.
Nah, it's all good, brother. I'll be in the East by the end of the month. I'm moving to Jersey.
Oh, word?
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Warm out here now.
Yeah. But the question I got, man, is what outside in the investing, right? Like, what are your non-negotiables that make you guys better human beings for everyone in your lives?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. Non-negotiable for me is trust. If I feel like if I can't trust you, it's difficult for me to have a relationship, and that's business. That's a good business.
Yeah.
And investing as well, right? Like if it's anything, like, because you just don't invest in just regular, but you can invest in people, you can invest in businesses. And this is a business and investing show. So that's actually a great question, because that question aligns a lot with the investment principles and business principles. And that's something that is a non-negotiable for me as far as business ethics. I think is extremely high on my list. And I feel like, if you are capable of robbing somebody that you don't know, you're capable of robbing me. So I never trust a thief. I never trust a thief. And I never trust somebody that will do something to one person, but saying like, I won't do it to you, I'll just screw him over. Because if you're capable of screwing somebody, you're capable of screwing anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Big facts.
Yeah, I'll add to that. I think that is key, and I think one of my non-negotiables is integrity. I'll never compromise my integrity. My parents always told me that from a very young age, man. Be who you are, stay true to who you are, because you never know who's watching or who wants to be in the spot. So I never will compromise my integrity. Trust is important,
unless it's for $1 billion.
I would never compromise my integrity. This guy is crazy.
That's funny.
Be doing backflips out here, man.
No, we're not tapping this guy.
They ain't gonna see him at the circus for $1 billion.
Family is my number one priority. That's a non-negotiable. Nothing comes before that at any point or time. So those are my two. But trust is a big thing.
Yeah, and to tap in what they said, integrity, trust. Like a lot of you ask, well, what can I do to get in the dream team? Dream team not about trading. Dream team is about, can I trust you with my life, and can I trust you to be around my baby? And then same thing Rashad said, like you can't say that you could screw somebody over, but you won't screw me, because at one point, you'll look at me as food as well. So that's why if anybody ever say, oh, I'm like, I don't owe anything on my personal debt side. So if anybody ever say, oh, I'm always willing to overpay, just so I'm not indebted. But then time. That's why for me, the whole, hey, I sent you an email, you didn't reply. I'm like, man, I love you. But if I miss this investment, let me ask you guys a question. If you in a trade can make $30,000 to $80,000 in the trade, would you answer email? And I remember what it was like when I couldn't get people to answer or talk to me about business, right? And I asked this question on Stock Club call. If I died today and Xander was 6, how many of you would take care of my child until he was 21? If you wouldn't, then when I'm with him, I don't want to talk no business. Don't care. It's not a deal big enough, $1 billion, 500, but anything short than that. Otherwise, I'm gonna play with Xander and we're gonna watch Ryan and typical gamer. But like, yo, man, I want to talk to you about, making Market Tuesday. I'm good, bro. I'm going to eat cupcakes with Xander and watch typical gamer. Tuesday. Like that time with him is so precious. Yeah. And they're growing so fast, man. Like family time, I don't play with. And then my time, because yeah, the thing, and let's be real, you guys only love me because I give you this fight. I know what the relationship is. If I start dropping duds and lose you money, there's no more Market Mondays. Man, I hate Ian. He trash and them trash suits. And also lastly, just being me. That's why some of you be like, well, don't curse, it's unprofessional. You guys don't say anything for the murderers and rapists that you work for. You work for a Fortune 500. I can name dirt on damn near every CEO that some of you guys work for, but you want to get on me about what? Me taking care of my child is professional. Me giving this, that's why I'm like, yo, you can put my track list up against anybody. Man, you'll be hard pressed outside of the people at Renaissance to say that they put up a track record better than mine in the last year, and I gave it for free. It's part of my case study. So when I go raise that 15 billion, they can't tell me no. Man, focus on your inner circle. Because some of y'all work for some of the most evil organizations on earth, and they be like, yo, I don't like the way y'all talk. Okay. Shout out to y'all that work for Epstein who've been on here in these comments too.
Whoa.
And then the last thing, I just want to shout out, give y'all your flowers real quick.
Yo,
real.
nice
flowers.
Segue, Jeremy. Nice segue.
Flowers, real. Every time I get a chance, man, like I really got to salute y'all, because every major leader, and I told y'all this to face when we was in LA, man, like every major revolutionary civil rights leader done anything for the Black community. They've been talking about equity. And the one thing that this show does, that it provides value on how to have equity in your own life. If y'all don't pay attention, that's y'all fault. Like seriously, all you got to do is
say it again, please. Let me put you on payroll. Say it again.
Straight up. If you don't pay attention, it's an information age. To be stuck is to continue to be oppressed by the people that want us oppressed, man. So pay attention, because these guys provide their value weekly, and their time they're never getting back for us to win. Like, yes. That's it. It's unity, and y'all do that. So I appreciate y'all. That's my love, because I've been waiting for y'all for a long time, man. Like just people on a different wave, like wanting to see us build. And this is what happens every Monday on this show. So again, every time I get a chance, the flowers is there, because y'all keep doing it. I had to step away right now. It was long term. I'm still a Red Panda. I'm about to go get situated in New York, come to the futures market, get my 300 in, and make money with a dude blessing people how to make money, man. That's straight up. Like,
as soon as I slide back to New York, I'm gonna be sure to tap in with you.
Shout out to you, Jeremy. You've been A1 since the book club. We met in person in LA. It was dope, man. Shout out to you, my brother.
Yeah, I'm coming back. Life's changing. I'll be back in book club because you provide value, and I'm trying to do that right back. I appreciate you. I'm gonna let someone get back on this.
He has a dope last name. For those of you who don't know, we talked about it last year in one of my favorite stocks, the ticker POOL, legal mafia on the pool industry. So it's too high to buy now. Probably wait if it gets down to, I don't know, 387 to buy in. That'd be a decent area. Or if it ever falls back down to 259.66, you'd be good.
Before we go to the next question, I want to issue a challenge. I saw him 500 talking about it. let's try to issue a challenge to everybody that's on here, including ourselves, to go 24 hours with no negative conversation, without entertaining a negative conversation, and without looking at any negativity on social media, and see how your day will change.
Huge
That's
difference.
my life, man. We can't allow that in. Shout out to everybody.
That's that Troy Joy blueprint.
Yeah.
Book coming soon. I'm gonna make him do that book, y'all. Troy Joy coming soon.
Keep it away, man.
That's a major key.
Yeah.
It's a major key to success, and it's a major key to a healthy life. Is positivity is a major key.
That's clear out the noise.
Big fact. Hey, real quick, can I do the earnings report?
Absolutely.
Since we talking about some of these things we're gonna talk. So the earnings report today is brought to you by Ladder. We spoke about this so many times, man.
Shout out to Ladder.
Listen, life insurance is not for the people who live. It's not for the people who die, it's for the people who live. And so it's very important that we understand that. It's one of the keys to building generational wealth for future generations way down the line, man. I told you at 26, this guy sitting to my left, man, sat me down and said, you need to get this. I looked at him like, I don't have a wife, I don't have kids, I don't need this. He said, yes, you do. It's one of the best decisions that I've ever made, and I'm so indebted to him for allowing me to understand that process. So if you're wondering why we're talking about that, I want you to check out Ladder, right? Especially because they have term coverage, which is very affordable. So why not put a bit of each month of your pay to protect the ones you love for the long term? All right, Ladder makes it very easy and fast to get covered. All you need is a few minutes. Just hop on a phone or a laptop to apply. The algorithms work in real time, so all you need to do is apply, and you get approved, or you'll know if you get approved instantly. There's no hidden fees, and you can cancel anytime. And life insurance costs more as you age, and people, you should know that. So now is the time. Right now is a good time. There's no age that you shouldn't get it. All right, so if you want to check it out, go to Ladder today to see if you're instantly approved. Go to ladderlife.com/EYL. That's LADDER life.com/EYL. Ladderlife.com/EYL to check that out. Shout out to our Ladder team. And our earnings report. Fittingly enough, since we talked about these meme stocks, GameStop will be reporting on Wednesday after closing. I'm always, when they reported last quarter, I was like, they'll probably tank. I was so wrong. And so I'll be interested to see what happens this time. And then Thursday after a close, Dave & Buster's is going to be reporting. Now I'm bringing up Dave & Buster's because I'm sure if Jamal's watching, he's going to be like, Troy, I've been telling you this since last June. He has been. And you were there for those conversations.
Yeah. Can you speak a little loud? They're saying your microphone's a little low.
Touch that dial right there. What second one?
This one?
Yeah, turn it up.
This one?
Yep.
This one?
Yeah. We good? Yep.
You're good.
All right. Yeah. So he's been telling me about Dave & Buster's as a reopening stock to be in. He said this in June, and had I listened to him, I listened to him a lot of times. But sometimes I'm like, Jamal, I don't really know. It was trading at $12. It was trading at $12. The ticker is PLAY. Play. You can't go wrong with this. So play. Right now, it is trading at $43 per share. So they'll be reporting on Thursday after close. And so that's one of those ones I definitely want to watch now that the world is reopening and people want to be outside. If you've been in New York over the past 2 weeks, you've seen people outside. If you've been in Miami over the past 3 months, you see. If you've been in Atlanta, everybody's outside. Yeah. And so Dave & Buster's is one of those family-oriented places that you can have a good time, have some good food, and let the kids run around a little bit and get some energy off. So definitely a stock that I'm looking into. And then we saw there was some news this morning that the first cruise ship is leaving or docking back in North America for the first time since last June or last May. It's leaving from Barbados. So cruise lines are something that definitely one of those reopening trades that we're definitely going to be looking at. So that's our earnings report. Thank you, good folks.
Yeah. And play. I think we spoke about play.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah. That's something that, Jamal was very bullish on play.
Yes, still is probably.
And it's one of these things. I was just at a kid's birthday party. We both was at a kid's birthday party. And America is back open for business. And all of those things about to go crazy. Chuck E. Cheese, all of that stuff's gonna go crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Live Nation too. a lot of content going will be happening.
Live Nation's about to go crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh, my guy. Marcus, what's going on? Unmute yourself. You've been unmuted. What's going on?
Yo, hearts to the moon. I'm joking.
How are you?
Yeah, hear me all right? So how y'all doing, by the way?
Pretty good. How you feeling,
Everything's
man?
good.
What's good, bro?
Good. I don't necessarily have a question. I have more of a discussion that I wanted to have. I mean, me and Ian had it as well. I kind of want to see what you guys' thought process is, and it's on Tesla. Like, as y'all know, Tesla's been hurting a lot of people for the past year or so because of the swing up and down, especially if you were in options with it. But I'm trying to figure out my thought process when it comes to investing in Tesla moving forward. And the reason why I'm saying this, I feel like, all the analysts are constantly saying that Tesla is just a car company. We all know that it's not just a car company, it's a tech company. However, the stock is still overvalued. And in the end of the day, you're not really investing in SpaceX. You're not investing in a tunnel. You're not investing into solar. You're still investing into a vehicle. And at this point, you have stuff like Ford coming out with their own electrical vehicles, GM and et cetera.
That
So
150 is sexy.
yeah, the 150, like the Lightning, that's I'm sorry, but that Lightning is way better than a Cybertruck. Yeah. And and I'm just trying to figure out, like, at this point where everyone's still riding on this whole Tesla train, which is cool and stuff. It's just I was on that as well, but I've become a bear when it comes to Tesla, mostly because I'm no longer infatuated with the mind of Elon Musk, because he'd be manipulating markets and whatnot. But point being is that we were investing in Tesla because of the AI, which it still has, the battery, which at this point every car manufacturer has a battery now, which is going to either equal to the same amount of miles or more, and it's EV. So, do you still think that Tesla is still going to go to 1,000 if you're really not investing in anything besides the vehicle?
You want me to go first or go last?
Oh, yeah, as well as a tax break too. That was another thing, like the tax break. Once those go away, there's a lot of questions, and that's why, once Michael Burry put that short on it, that's when I started really looking into stuff. I'm like, there's a lot of questionable stuff about Tesla. That is it really still going to go to 1,000, or is this whole infatuation done with?
Can I just add my little 2 cents?
Go ahead.
From my amateur perspective. I think that that anonymous video was pretty much stuff that we said a lot, and they actually spoke a lot of truth. I encourage anybody to watch that anonymous video. It was actually very well put together, and they dropped a lot of gems on that, and they spoke a lot of truth. And I never was a fan of Tesla stock. I don't own Tesla stock. Obviously, if you got in Tesla last year, it was a great run up. But Tesla is one of these companies where I just don't see it being valuable as this like number one company in the world. Like how? Like it's not something like just from the eye test. As he said, like they made more money off of Bitcoin in the last quarter than they did selling cars. Elon Musk will be on EYL. That has to happen.
That will happen.
But yes, that has very erratic behavior. And
it's not erratic. Well, go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
Well, erratic as far as how it's perceived in the public. And there is a lot of competition in the space. It's a lot of the things are projections of what will happen in the future, as opposed to what's currently happening right now. So, my exposure to Tesla is through ETFs. I just feel the ETF route is an easier way to get in, and they can always reposition it. If the stock that's the one good thing about ETFs. If the stock's not really performing, then they can change
the allocation.
Yeah, they can change the allocation. So I'm actually have exposure to Tesla right now. My portfolio is through a couple of different ETFs that I own. So yeah, I mean, that's just my own take on Tesla. I feel like Elon Musk has become a superstar, and sometimes people get enamored by a person's personality and look past other things.
Fundamentals.
Look past fundamentals. If you really look at the fundamentals, what justifies Tesla's stock price? It's hard. Right. It's hard to justify that. But that's just my 2 cents on it.
They said which ETFs? What you in? ARKK?
ARKK.
ARKW?
Definitely has it. ARKW I have for my son. That definitely has it.
XLY.
He's in XLY?
Yeah, it's in XL. It's number 2 in XLY.
XLY. It's not in QQQ, is it?
I don't think so.
Yeah. And then the index fund, S&P 500. So yeah, those are a few.
Yeah, that's 4 right there.
Yeah,
that's a wide range right there.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. What's your take, Ian?
Rest in peace of Chad. If it was Kathy Wood, Bitcoin, and Elon last year, they got to be Kathy, Bitcoin, and Elon now. Now, when I came on and said it was going to drop to 394, oh my God, Ian's not for the culture. Does not know what he's talking about. Now everyone's worried. You guys have to. So I'll say this first. GM is the Microsoft of the EV space. Write that down. GM is going to be second. Everyone said that you can have a dominant brand leader and with no advantage. Apple proved that wrong. They created the space. Tesla will probably get credit for making the electronic vehicle space pop. If Biden probably has to pick a company to partner with, it'd probably be Ford or GM for the electric vehicles. Now, you're betting on the same thing. AI, Elon's brain, his celebrity, which celebrity CEOs, the value of the stock usually goes higher. Is the stock overvalued? Yes, at 900, it was too damn high, even in the 800s. It should fall back to 496.02, probably by September, October, roughly. It'll be a good time. The true value of Tesla is like $400.83. It's a good long-term investment. It just went parabolic last year. Now, I know everyone wants to get out, but the truth is a lot of people want to get out because you got to end at bad prices. That's it. Is the F-150 a better looking truck? Yes, but Ford has been so horribly run over the last 15 or 16 years, with the exception when Alan Mulally took over, did an amazing job. The stock ran, but when he left, it went right back to, you guys don't want to curse, so I'm gonna just say trash. But Tesla will be the number one, GM will be number two, Ford will be number three.
GM has the Hummer, right?
Yeah, and then the stock has been incredible for a long period of time. So they will be. That's why I tell you guys, like, look for the top three, and if you can get the top two, you'll be good. But Tesla is an exceptional company. They are just now, of course, with the government stuff, and then the way they've been able to stay afloat and monetize. I've always said I don't like it. They haven't produced enough revenue. Now, if he can get that to work, and the biggest weakness that Tesla has is that what I talked about a few weeks ago, they don't have a Tim Cook. You need an operator that is solely focused on a business, not all in the video, dancing on Twitter, manipulating crypto. They'll be off to the races and be fine, and they'll stabilize and hover around 600 to 850. Can they go to 1,000? Yes. When production for the new cars comes out, everybody will be back riding on them, and it'll be game, set, match. But if you're going to invest, you have to invest for the long term. Anybody that's been in since 2018, 2017, normally when Tesla makes a high, it automatically cuts in half. These are lessons you only learn if you're actually in it. So last year when it went off like crazy, it was like, thank you, my God. I'm glad it finally went up in the way that it should, but it's not that it's a bad asset. Most people just bought too high. It's going to slide back to 496.02. It'd be a decent buy area. If it gets to 400, I would be elated. And then it'll be off to the races, but you should probably ask some GM if they slide back, and you'll be good. Tesla's Elon's one of the greatest entrepreneurs of our era. Troubled. And I've always said that. Layered, complex, but betting against him is the same thing. As long as he has government backing from hedge funds, that Angel Space loves him, that will support him, he'll be fine. They have some revenue issues they have to fix. That part I don't like. I don't like another asset being the primary method of revenue for them. Never like that. But over the long haul, they'll be good. They'll be good. So
appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Great discussion too.
Appreciate you, man. But yeah,
I don't have to worry about this with Apple and Microsoft though. All he wants to talk about is Apple. Buy quality.
Shout out to Microsoft.
But I don't want it to be like I don't believe in Tesla. I still think that Tesla's a good company. Like you said, long-term buy and hold. I just feel like the stock is overinflated. That's all. Don't kill a messenger. I said tech was overinflated 6 months ago. I just felt it was overinflated. I still believe in tech. And what happened? Tech had a strong decline.
Yeah. But they killed Elon for saying when the stock for Tesla was overinflated, and he said it, and it was true. Yeah.
People get mad I'm not. I don't know what you want me to say. Like, if I feel like if it's overinflated, it's over. That doesn't mean that it's a bad company. It's just overinflated. That's all. Like,
you don't like them.
A player might get paid too much money. he's not a bad player.
If LeBron got paid $200 million a year, it's overinflated. Now I hope he can get a $200 million check per year. But
LeBron
underpaid
extremely.
Especially $200 million a year for the Lakers.
He should get $1 billion. $1 billion contract.
I agree, but that's up to Xavier to negotiate on the back end for all the concessions and all that stuff too. I mean, I could argue same with Mayweather. Like Mayweather, man, probably should get 10% of the money that comes into Las Vegas. He made Vegas, but that's another conversation.
There's a couple guys.
Look at the value of when he left versus what the annual revenue of what Vegas was when he was having them fights.
Michael Tyson was there before.
Yeah, but Floyd.
I'm talking modern era.
Oh, okay.
Floyd era.
Great documentary too. If you get to check it out, Knockout. Great documentary on Mike Tyson.
Floyd, he needs a statue on the strip.
Rachel, we coming to you. Unmute yourself. You've been unmuted. What's going on, Rachel?
You guys got to call us some stocks. I want to get some prices away.
What's the next meme stock? Damn, Rachel, that feels like a fridge break.
I saw somebody talking about Volkswagen and on YouTube. Volkswagen going to the moon.
Tony C, what's going on? You've been unmuted. What's up?
Yeah, what's poppin', man?
Tony, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Ian, man. I just got three entries for you. I got Zebra, check.
What's the ticker?
ZBRA.
This one's not on my watch list. Okay. If it gets to 359.90, that is one entry you can have, and then 464.15. Good job for putting this on my watch list. Damn, how did I sleep on this?
Yeah, that's one I found from I believe his name was Will Burns. I was doing some searching. I think he was, gifted some shares at some point. But
job well done.
Also appreciate it. Also, I got Riot, and then I got CGW.
Riot, I don't love. But I give it to you anyway. If Riot gets down to, man, that sucks to say. If it gets down to 1533, you can touch it there. Yeah, we gotta wait. And then CGW, one of the ones we talked about. Man, it's on the upside. We gotta wait for a pullback. If it gets to like 47.95 and then 48.93, you'll be good.
All right, man. I appreciate that, man.
But great job. Zebra had not been on my list from anybody that I've talked to. Mm-hmm. That's a fine. Everybody, please write that down. Put that on your watch list. Them and Volkswagen are two sleepers for real.
Yeah, I had one. Appreciate you, Tony. Me and Trap actually spoke about it because I was like, "Did you hear about this?" He's like, "Yeah, I've been on it for a while." Vertex Energy, VTNR. What's your thoughts on that? As you look at the chart. I mean, I think it went up like it ran earlier, like 2 weeks ago. And he's like,
it normally does this. For those, I mean, the high is 1125 back in 2014, and then it slid all the way back down. For those who were in it, they killed. Yeah, I've seen this one before. Somebody
definitely killed
on Stock Club. Yeah, and it went up from $1.36 to 10 and some change. Great trade. I wouldn't touch it on the investment side, but maybe on a pullback if it got to like 234, I would touch it again.
Yeah, the chart was filthy.
It's a trade.
If somebody had it, like I said, in April, March, May, early May,
you made it killing. If you're in it, take profit on it. But yeah, nice good trade.
A nice killing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You have a lot of information that you can go in.
Rashad, ready to wrap already. Did I go too deep on the alien thing? My bad. The UFO ETF though has
UFO ETF
taken off. No pun intended.
There's definitely a UFO. We spoke about that.
Yeah, we did.
Yep, UFO ETF. There's an ETF for everything.
And sometimes the ticker tells you what it is. Like you don't have to guess.
EYL ETF soon come.
Soon reach, y'all.
Soon reach. Innovation. New gen innovation.
The biggest brand.
A brand to believe in. You guys have a lot of research to do based off of the information that was provided tonight. So hopefully you guys can make a bunch of money. That's what we are in it to win it.
Yeah. And a lot of you been asking about TSM and AMD and all the chip until they can make more. That's a supply and demand issue. If you're in AMD, NVIDIA, you got to hold on until They get the supply issues.
We didn't even speak about NVIDIA. NVIDIA, they 4-to-1 split. They agreed, I think July 20th. If I'm not, I might be a day or two off, but yeah, the 4-to-1 split is happening. So it'll be interesting to watch. I know it got up over 700, pulled back a little bit, got under it today. But I've seen some analysts see it going to 800, which is interesting. So shout out to everybody that's in NVIDIA. If you were in it early on, we were talking about it last May when it was in the 400s and 500s, and now it's up at 7. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. We've seen this before, and that's the best thing about being in this community, right? When we started Market Mondays, we've seen a split before, right? We've seen it happen with Apple. We've seen it happen in Tesla. We saw it run up until that split day, and then we saw it pull back maybe a week or two later. So just be mindful of that, right? History is the best teacher.
Anything with EYL attached to it is buy and hold. 30 years at least, 30-year minimum at least.
HODL.
Hold on for dear life. That's a fact.
Hold it on. For you Red Panda members that got in at 244, start getting your Christmas presents ready for Xander. We need mopeds and stuff this year. So you up 600%.
Yeah.
Come on.
Appreciate you, Dan P. He put July 20th. I was on point. And I see some people from the chat. Shout out to Chris who's in the chat from the Bay. Shout out to Rosetta. She pulled up to Tulsa. She pulled up to Atlanta. She's running EYL legal. So shout out to
EYL legal is gonna be big.
That's real big. Yeah.
Got our hands in everything.
Brilliant idea. Hey, I'm gonna say on the record, that's a brilliant. I saw that one. I was like, well played. A lot of people can't copy that. Y'all trying to copy everything else. Nope, sorry.
You put them on game to what we about to do next. In Instagram. That's gonna be a big situation.
Oh, the vending machines.
Yeah, we going
Shout
back.
Shout out to Abdullah. Yeah, we going back to our old high school. And we did an episode with Kashif. You ever see that episode, Ian? Vending machine episode?
63.
That's a legendary episode, man. That's one of my favorite episodes. He gave the whole entire blueprint of how to start vending machine business, and that was over a year and a half ago. So we're gonna do a vending machine. We started a vending machine company, and we're gonna start with our old high school. Woodlands High School.
Shout out to Woodlands.
And we got our young guy Abdullah. He's gonna be running it.
Yeah, and on top of Abdullah, obviously, Darmody Smith. Shout out to our boy Darmody. He was actually in our summer program when he was 14. Tonight is his prom, so he's probably not gonna hear this. So shout out to him because he's an 17-year-old, but he's been integral in this process of setting up meetings. So we're showing him what it is to be a boss. And he doesn't know yet, but he's going to be a boss in a major way. So shout out to Dominique and shout out to Ab. They call him EYL Ab now.
Yeah, that's
my boy Yogi. What up?
And we're gonna give a portion of the proceeds to the senior class for their prom and different stuff like that.
It's part of the business plan. Everybody talking, but they don't really live it, man.
Most of them don't live it. That's
they don't live it. Nah, they don't live it.
But like traders and investors that really can trade, they don't hate on anybody. Like shout out to all the dope traders and all the dope investors, all the real business people. When you're actually running the business, there's no room to hate. Life, especially if you have kids and you're active in their lives, like it's too hard to. You should be too tired from spending time with your kids and running your business to be able to hate on anybody. So
tired. Yeah. Somebody,
shout
episode 63. Somebody asked me what the vending machine business is.
Yeah,
episode.
Check 63. That episode out. It's legendary. Shout out to my boy MG the Mortgage Guy and Kiana Watson. They are
what up, man?
They're a tremendous start with their gyms and Rants and Gems podcast. Check that out. EYL Network. It's real estate, all things real estate. So yeah, that's a big one. Shout out to
live tapings coming this week. And everybody watching right now, listening right now, listen, Market Mondays is a podcast as well. I need y'all to go tell a friend to tell a friend, subscribe, like, comment, do all that. Let's run it back up.
Yeah. And thank you guys. Tomorrow, Steve Stout,
the commissioner legendary. He don't get enough credit. Like, go ahead. He's under the radar. Probably the most underrated person in music, probably next to Steve Jobs when he were in the music industry. Like the stuff that Steve has pulled off should be covered in Harvard. I don't know any black man that's had as much. Like he made it cool for hip hop culture to be put in corporate. Nobody on earth did that before him. Like anybody who's worked in corporate or advertising, you know how hard, and kudos to everybody at Burrell and TBWA and all other agencies that are amazing. But he made it cool to like put black faces that from an urban environment into commercial space. Like he does not get enough credit. at all.
His story goes back very far from Kid and Play to Nas. Like catalog is incredible.
He saved Nas's career.
Yes,
that's a fact. Nas after the first album, after Illmatic, it was a tough time in his life. He said it himself, my last 100,000, like he was down to like his last. He was frustrated. He didn't really know where to go. You know, he's in a bad record deal, and he went to Queensbridge, found Jungle, and then It Was Written came out, double platinum.
It's a slept on album.
If I Ruled the World.
Yeah. So Steve Stout is the commissioner. He's the one that orchestrated that whole pivot in Nas's career from being an underground artist to being a global superstar. And of course, you know, worked with Jay-Z, 50 Cent, you know, the list goes on. So yeah, that's a dope conversation tomorrow, 8:00. Make sure you check that out. He talks about everything. He does not hold back. And just a really brilliant guy. So check it out.
Yeah, somebody asked, is Nas coming on? Yes, Nas is coming on.
Esco.
It's just a matter of time. We need everybody's support in this effort.
That's gonna be a special situation.
We need NAS to be on Market Mondays. We need him to be on Earn Your Leisure.
One of the greatest investors of his era too. He don't get credit for that.
But we need to talk to him about it. I haven't heard him talk about it yet, and I feel like he's waiting for Earn Your Leisure, and so we're gladly waiting as well.
Shout out to Esco, man.
Nas Esco.
Shout out to Esco for sure. And then Wednesday, once again, if you joined late, Wednesday we have a class on how to start an app development with Tara Reid, app creation. Amazing. So check that out, EY University. And
orientation Saturday.
Orientation on Saturday. That's a fact.
Let's do it.
And shout out to everybody that's out in New York right now. We got a lot of stuff planned for New York this summer. We will be releasing some details, but you know, we just want to just
y'all gonna be partying on Dykeman. What we doing?
Oh, Dykeman.
That's easy. That's easy.
You gotta come up, man. We give you the red carpet treatment.
I'm gonna be out every month. Easily.
The red carpet.
Right back in Hudson Yards looking.
No. Shout out to my guy Miguel. Shout out to the whole team on Dykeman. Man.
Watermelon Sundays.
You definitely have to come to Dykeman with us to experience the culture. Red carpet of street ball. We get red carpet treatment.
Yeah.
We'll put you in the skybox if you like, or you can sit behind the bench. It's up to you.
Your choice. Choice. And then we're gonna have some fish after the game. Shout out to is it sea bass?
Sea bass.
The sea bass right on the train station. If you're from the Heights, or you're from up on Dykeman, you know exactly what the spot I'm talking about. Ridiculous.
It's gonna be a good summer in New York, Ian.
I know it's summertime, but when I come out there, Red Panda, I still need my coquito. So please have it on the arrival. Not playing either.
Be my lord.
What would you like to end it with, Ian? What would you like to tell the people?
I love you guys. Execute. Be great at what you do. For those of you who feel like you're overlooked, continue to work on your crafts because not being seen is actually a competitive advantage. Shout out to all my Red Panda family. Let me get some Red Panda and crystal ball emojis in chat. And some of you guys been asking for a stock club deal, so I'm gonna talk with the guys and maybe we can put together something in June. Because I see a lot of you guys need help. For those of you that are trading, 300 trades, practice first. I know everybody's telling you what kind of gains they're getting. A lot of them are not factual. It's cap.
Big cap.
Yeah. So just focus on your own journey, your own race. You'll be good, and everything will work out. And then if you guys want any exclusive details on Stock Club or Crypto Club, go to joinredpanda.com. That's it. But be great. Choose mastery. Nothing else pays.
Yeah. Somebody told me it's El Tina. That's the name of the restaurant.
Oh yeah, that's my spot.
Yeah, that joint's official.
I get the mashed potatoes and sea bass, fried sea bass and mashed potatoes.
And shout out to everybody up at Lighthouse
eating lobster fries.
If you
know, you know.
If you know, if you're from New York, you know you gotta get the lobster fries. Hey, yo, bro. Yeah, we gotta take you on tour. We gotta take you on a tour of New York City in the summer.
Yeah.
Them lobster fries is different.
Yeah.
I need sweet potato. I'm not eating no meat, no fish. You know my vibes, but I'm happy to tour and be out in the city when it's finally not cold. Every time I'm out there, it's 29.
Oh, them days is over.
That's 90 degrees.
Yeah. Them days is over.
It's 90 degrees.
So, I cannot wait.
We're gonna do it. It's gonna be.
Tune in to Conspiracy Market Mondays next week, where we talk about the Atlantean people and the sea scrolls that predicts the market.
ATLians.
Yeah,
Dr. Fauci's.
It's a lot that. Yeah, my bad. I went too far. Kudos to Fauci. I told y'all, like, a respiratory infection cannot travel 6,000 anyway. I don't. It's okay. But even with that, the Henrietta Henrietta, kudos to the queen and the family, who has not been paid for the research, but some of her cells were also in that man-made instrument that they created. I told you, every recession, there presents opportunity. There's an economic reset. There's a bigger reason for, like, they were trying to crash the market in 99 and people were getting their shorts ready in 2000. Like, Y2K didn't happen. Then 2000 came, election scandal, sent the market dropping. Then everybody got their shorts ready. Then 9/11 happened. Those shorts were already in. Like, you guys have to see the broader, bigger macro picture. And haven't even talked about China and the edge that they have. There's so much, man. But I want to keep us on YouTube, so I will back away. Apple and Microsoft, and I'll keep my
spook that's set by the door. Sometimes you gotta, you gotta play the game to win the game.
Silencio.
Shout out to YouTube. Shout out to the good people.
Shout out Mayweather and Fat Joe and everybody.
And shout out to our brother Mike Rashid. If you didn't sign up,
if you'd have played yourself, you still have
3 hours.
3 hours left. We have an EYL. It's alphaeyl.com.
Yeah.
It is a 30-day challenge, and the winner gets $5,000 for men, $5,000 for the women. But even if you don't win the money, I mean, the most important thing is to change your life. It's like $80.
Yeah.
And you get meal plans and you get workouts. Every single day is a workout that you could do at home. So EYL fitness is in full effect. You've been seeing a lot of fitness videos. So sign up for that challenge.
Yeah. You guys know everybody for the encouraging words. I love Mike Rashid. Like, Mike, he underrated too. Great business person. The Overtraining series is amazing. Like, Mike has been solid for a long time. If you have a chance to meet him, train with him, he's been living that lifestyle. Great business person. Great interview with him too. Mike's probably one of the most underrated people in fitness, but has arguably the best brain.
Solid brother.
Him and Greg from CrossFit, like, he's super underrated as hell. Super underrated. Don't be surprised if, like, Mike end up at Nike or some other big ass institution and doing some Virgil type ish with Nike or Reebok or CrossFit or somebody like that. Like, he's brilliant.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Solid dude.
Super solid dude. Shout out to Mike. But all right, guys, we'll see you next week. Yeah.
No conspiracy theories next week, just ETFs and indexes. Love y'all.
You're gonna be on Umar Johnson.
No donations. I don't need no donations. I'm good. I can build a school now.
Yeah, Atlanta. ATL. We're on the way. We're on the way.
Making another move to Atlanta. Listen, I got to get up with y'all the day before, because when I came down the steps last time, I felt rude. I didn't see Rashad till like 2 hours in. I'm like,
oh yeah,
I didn't see Mike or nobody. So
yeah. Shout out to the A, man.
Yeah, we
a lot of love out there.
Atlanta's amazing.
It's Wall Street Trapper weekend in Atlanta, so we gonna pull up.
Oh yeah, shout out to Trap. Shout out to Wall Street Trapper, man. All right, guys.
All right, y'all. Love is love.